I've always believed there are two types of neighbors. The quiet ghosts you see once a year when they check their mailbox, and the walking disasters who make you question your life choices. Karen? Oh, she was the latter on steroids. I moved into my beach house a few years ago, thinking I'd finally found peace. Private property, private beach, no nosy HOA breathing down my neck. Just me, the ocean, and the occasional seagull that looked like it had seen some serious stuff. Life was perfect. Until Karen happened. Karen lived a few houses down. In one of those I married a rich guy and now act like I own the town mansions. The first time I met her, she introduced herself by complaining that my deck lights were too bright and that my outdoor furniture ruined the aesthetic of the shoreline. I should have known then that she was trouble. But nothing could have prepared me for what she pulled last weekend. Saturday morning, I wake up to music so loud my windows vibrate. At first, I think maybe a yacht party anchored too close. But then I step outside and see the horror. Dozens of people, loud, drunk, on my beach. A full-blown party, complete with a rented DJ, tiki torches, and a goddamn inflatable slide. I just stand there, mouth half open, trying to process the sheer level of audacity. Tables are set up, coolers are everywhere, and people I've never seen in my life are trampling across my property like it's their personal resort. Excuse me, I say to a guy pouring himself a drink at my outdoor bar. What the hell is going on? Oh, hey man. Awesome party. Huh? Karen said we could chill here. Karen. Of course. I stormed down the beach, scanning the crowd for her signature oversized sunglasses and I'm better than you energy. And there she is, lounging like a queen on a beach chair. My beach chair. Karen, I say, struggling to keep my voice even. Mind telling me why there's a goddamn festival on my property? She lowers her sunglasses just enough to give me that condescending smirk. Oh, relax. It's just a little gathering. A little? Karen, there are at least 50 people here. Well, you weren't using the beach, she says with a shrug. Like that somehow justifies the trespassing, vandalism, and complete disregard for basic human decency. And it's not like it's really yours. It's just sand and water. I take a deep breath. Karen, this is my private property. I have the deed, the fence, the no trespassing signs. Ugh, she groans, waving me off. You're being so dramatic. No one cares about those stupid signs. At this point, I realize reasoning with her is as pointless as explaining taxes to a toddler. So I turn around, pull out my phone, and start dialing. Who are you calling? She asks, sitting up. The police. And just like that, the party mood shifts. The moment I say, police, Karen jumps up like she just remembered she left the oven on. Oh, come on. There's no need for that. But it's too late. I already hit call. 911. What's your emergency? Yeah, hi. There's a massive unauthorized party on my private beach. I need officers to clear trespassers. I see Karen's eye twitch as she hears me say private beach. Because now she knows she's screwed. Or so I thought. You're seriously calling the cops over a party? She hisses. God. You are so uptight. No wonder no one likes you around here. Oh, I'm sorry. I must have missed the part where I gave you permission to turn my property into Coachella. She glares at me, but I'm done playing nice. I cross my arms and wait. And within 10 minutes, I see flashing blue and red lights at the end of the street. When the cops arrive, I expect things to go smoothly. They'll see the trespassers, ask them to leave, and that'll be the end of it. Yeah. No. Karen, apparently, has a law degree from the University of Google, because the second the officers step onto the beach, she launches into a speech about public access right and the community's entitlement to enjoy natural spaces. The officer, who looks like he's dealt with one too many Karens in his lifetime, just sighs. Ma'am, this is clearly private property. He has a deed, and these people are trespassing. Well, Karen says, flipping her hair, I heard that the previous owner used to let people hang out here all the time. So it's basically a tradition. And besides, I have guests here. You can't just ruin the party like this. The officer turns to me. Do you want to press charges? I glance at Karen, who suddenly doesn't look so smug. For now, I just want them off my property. All right, folks, party's over, the cop announces. Everyone needs to leave. Cue the grumbling, the whining, the dude. Seriously? Comments as people reluctantly start packing up. Karen, however, doesn't go quietly. She spends the entire time ranting about how I'm selfish and a fun-sucking dictator. I just stand there, arms crossed, watching her empire crumble. But just when I think it's over, just when I think I've won, Karen turns to me, eyes blazing with entitlement. You're gonna regret this. I scoff. Oh, really? What are you gonna do? Throw another party? She smirks. No, I'm gonna sue you, and that's when I realize this war is far from over. You ever wake up thinking, today might actually be a good day, only to get hit with a fresh load of nonsense before breakfast? That was me 3 days after the Karempacalypse. I was sipping my coffee, enjoying the quiet, the thing I thought I paid for when I bought a private beach, when a knock on my door shattered my temporary peace. I opened it to find some guy in a suit and the smuggest look I've ever seen. Are you Ethan Walker? Depends. Are you here to sell me something? Convert me to a religion? Or tell me I've inherited millions from a long-lost prince? The guy blinked. You've been served. And just like that, a manila envelope was shoved into my hands, and my morning was officially ruined. Now, I don't claim to be a lawyer, but I do have a functional brain, something Karen clearly lacks. And yet, somehow, she had managed to file a lawsuit against me. For what, you ask? Emotional distress. Because my mean, nasty police call humiliated her in front of her friends. Lost event costs, apparently. She had paid for the DJ, the catering, and the decorations for a party she threw on my property without my consent. Defamation. Because, and I quote, telling the police that I was trespassing has hurt my social standing in the community. I had to read that last one twice. This woman had illegally thrown a full-blown festival on my beach, gotten herself kicked out, and then decided I was the villain. I'd be impressed if I wasn't so busy resisting the urge to scream into the void. I knew I had two options. Lawyer up and fight this in court, or try to talk some sense into Karen before things got out of hand. Like an idiot, I tried the second option first. I marched down to her house, knocked on her unnecessarily fancy door, and waited. It swung open, revealing Karen in full battle mode. Designer sunglasses, arms crossed, lips pursed like she was about to deliver a TED Talk on why I'm always right. Ah, she said, come to apologize? I let out a single humorless laugh. Yeah, no. I came to ask if you've completely lost your mind. She gasped, placing a hand on her chest like I just slapped her with a fish. Excuse me? I waved the lawsuit papers. Karen, you're suing me. Over your illegal party. On my property. She sighed dramatically. It's not just about the party. It's about how you handled it. You embarrassed me. You made me look like some kind of criminal. That's because you were trespassing, I snapped. Oh my God, she groaned. I was hosting a social gathering. You're acting like I committed a felony. I pinched the bridge of my nose, counting to 10 before I said something that would make me the one getting sued. Karen, just drop this. You and I both know this lawsuit is insane. She smirked. See you in court. And with that, she shut the door in my face. Fine. She wanted a legal battle? She was about to get one. I immediately called up my lawyer, Tom. Tom is the kind of guy who wears a tie but never tightens it, looks permanently unimpressed, and has the patience of a saint. Qualities necessary for dealing with both divorce cases and the species known as Carinus entitledpeople. After explaining the situation, he sighed. Wow, she really went for the full Karen Deluxe. Huh. Oh yeah, supersized. Alright, don't worry. This is complete nonsense, and I guarantee a judge will see that. Let's file a counterclaim. A counterclaim? Oh, absolutely. She trespassed. She threw an unauthorized event on your land. She wasted police resources. And now she's trying to extort you with a frivolous lawsuit? Yeah, we're gonna hit her back hard. I like Tom. 2 weeks later, I found myself sitting in a courtroom, watching Karen flip through her own lawsuit like she was seeing it for the first time. When the judge called her up, she strutted to the stand with all the confidence of a woman who'd never faced consequences in her life. Your Honor, she began, I am here today because I was wronged. The judge raised an eyebrow. Wronged how? She launched into a speech that could only be described as an Oscar-worthy performance in fictional victimhood. She painted herself as the innocent socialite, just trying to host a harmless gathering, only to be attacked by my unnecessary aggression and overreaction. At one point, she even teared up. Karen. Crying. I almost choked. Then the judge turned to me. Mr. Walker, how do you respond? Cleared my throat. Your Honor, this entire case is ridiculous. I have property records proving the beach is mine. I have security footage of Karen and her guests trespassing. And I have police reports from the night she was forcibly removed from my property. The judge nodded. I see. And your counterclaim? My lawyer stood. Yes, Your Honor. We are countersuing for trespassing, damages to private property, and filing a frivolous lawsuit. That's when Karen's confident mask started cracking. Wait. What? She blurted out. Tom adjusted his tie. That's right, Ms. Holloway. You sued my client first, so now we're seeking damages you caused. Karen looked personally offended. This is outrageous. The judge ignored her outburst, flipping through the documents. Then, after what felt like an eternity, they sighed and looked directly at Karen. Ms. Holloway, you had no legal right to use the plaintiff's property. This lawsuit is entirely baseless. I'm ruling in favor of the defendant and granting the counterclaim. Silence. Then, wait, what? Karen looked around, as if expecting someone to back her up. Nobody did. You mean I have to pay him? The judge gave her a tired look. Yes. And court costs. That's when it hit her. She had lost. Karen stormed out of that courtroom so fast I thought she might leave a dust trail behind her. And the best part? She had to pay me for damages. A week later, I got a check with her name on it, officially making Karen financially contribute to my beach property. So, in a way, she finally got the privilege she thought she had all along. And me? I got my quiet, Karen-free beach back. For now. Because if I know anything about Karens, they never learn. If you think a Karen takes a courtroom loss as a sign to sit down and shut up, you clearly haven't met a vengeful Karen. After she lost the lawsuit and was legally forced to pay me for trespassing on my own damn beach, I thought maybe she'd finally get the message. I was so wrong. Because 1 week later, I woke up to a demolition notice nailed to my front door. Now, remember when I said I moved here to avoid HOA nonsense? Yeah. Turns out, Karen had friends in low places. Despite my house being outside of their jurisdiction, the local HOA, which I was not a part of, thank you very much, had somehow decided that my private beach was suddenly in violation of their community standards. The notice was pure insanity. My fence? An obstruction to the natural beauty of the shoreline. My deck? An unapproved structure that needed to be removed. My entire house? Not compliant with the historical aesthetic of the neighborhood. And the best part? Failure to comply would result in forced demolition. Now, I know what you're thinking. HOAs can't do that. And you'd be right. Which is why I grabbed the notice, stomped down the street, and stormed into the HOA's emergency meeting, which, surprise surprise, was being hosted at Karen's house. I didn't even knock. I just walked right in like I owned the place. Because apparently, in Karen's world, that's allowed. Inside, a small group of middle-aged busybodies sat around a ridiculously expensive glass table, drinking overpriced sparkling water and looking like they had never faced a real problem in their lives. At the head of the table sat Karen, her smug meter dialed up to maximum overdrive. Oh, she said, feigning surprise. What a lovely surprise. Are you here to apologize for making a scene in court? I threw the demolition notice onto the table. What the hell is this? Karen blinked, then put on the fakest oh dear. I have no idea what you mean face I've ever seen. Oh that, she said. It's just an adjustment to keep the neighborhood looking classy. You're not my HOA. You have zero authority over my property. The HOA president, some balding guy who clearly let Karen do all the thinking for him, cleared his throat. Actually, we recently voted to extend our jurisdiction to cover all beachfront properties. I turned to Karen. You can't just decide that. She smirked. Well, we did. Oh, she was trying it. I exhaled, counting to 10 so I wouldn't say something that would land me in actual legal trouble. Then I said, very calmly, I was gonna handle this the easy way. But since you people wanna play stupid games, I grinned. I guess you're about to win some stupid prizes. The first thing I did was call Tom, my lawyer, who laughed so hard I thought he might pass out. Then he told me exactly what to do next. The second thing I did was take that demolition notice and send it straight to every local news station. Why? Because HOAs hate bad press. And guess what? The news loved the story. I mean, think about it. Local HOA tries to demolish private property they don't own. HOA president and local Karen caught abusing their power. Innocent homeowner fights back. By the next morning, I had reporters on my driveway. I walked out with my best concerned citizen face and laid it all out. How the HOA was illegally trying to seize control of my property. How Karen was using her influence to punish me for winning in court. How this wasn't just about me, but about anyone who could be bullied by power-hungry HOA boards. And oh, the public ate it up. By noon, the HOA's email inbox was flooded with complaints. Their phones were ringing off the hook. Karen's name was all over social media, getting roasted like a Thanksgiving turkey. And then, the mayor got involved. See, the mayor didn't like the HOA. In fact, he had been looking for an excuse to crack down on their out-of-control regulations. And this was the perfect excuse. By the end of the day, the city announced a formal investigation into the HOA's practices. By the end of the week, the HOA president had resigned in disgrace. And Karen? Oh, Karen. She became the most hated person in town. I saw it firsthand. One day, I watched from my deck as she walked to the local cafe, only to have two different people stop her just to call her an embarrassment. The look on her face? Priceless. And the best part? She couldn't do a damn thing about it. In the end, the city ruled that the HOA's attempted land grab was illegal. The demolition notice? Gone. The HOA's new rules? Null and void. And Karen? She put her house up for sale within a month. Turns out, being the most hated person in town wasn't a vibe she enjoyed. So one day, I watched her pack up her overpriced SUV, flip her sunglasses down, and drive off into the sunset like a villain whose contract didn't get renewed for the sequel. And just like that, Karen was gone. These days, my beach is exactly what it should be. Quiet, private, and 100% Karen-free. Sometimes, when I'm sipping my coffee, I think back on everything she tried to pull. The trespassing, the lawsuit, the HOA stunt. And then I remember that, in the end, she lost everything. And me? I'm still here. And my beach? Oh yeah, it's still mine.